There is a version of you that most people will never meet. A version that cannot be manipulated by silence, controlled by rejection, destroyed by criticism, or seduced by approval. That version appears when you finally realize something terrifying. The person controlling your emotions is controlling you. Think about it. If someone can insult you and instantly ruin your day, they have power over you. If someone can ignore you and make you desperate for their attention, they have power over you. If someone's approval can make you feel worthy, and their rejection can make you feel worthless, then you have unknowingly handed them the keys to your mind. And most people live this way without ever questioning it. They blame others for their anger. They blame circumstances for their weakness. They blame the past for who they are today. But Stoicism offers a different path. Master your mind, and you become difficult to control. Hello everyone, welcome to the Stoic Hypnosis channel. In this video, we will uncover how to reclaim that power, and why the greatest battle you will ever fight is not against the world, but against the part of yourself that the world has learned to control. Now, let's get started. Part 1. The first battle is inside your mind. Most people spend their entire lives trying to control what happens around them. They want people to treat them better. They want circumstances to become easier. They want the past to change. They want others to understand them. And when reality refuses to cooperate, they become frustrated, anxious, angry, or afraid. But the Stoics understood something most people discover only after years of suffering. You cannot control the world, but you can train yourself not to be controlled by it. Imagine someone saying something cruel to you. The words are outside your control. But what happens inside you afterward? That is where the real battle begins. One person hears an insult and spends the entire night replaying it in their head. Another hears the same insult, pauses, and thinks, "Is there anything useful in this? If not, why should I carry it?" The event is the same. The difference is the mind. This is why Epictetus placed so much importance on our judgments. It is not always the event itself that destroys our peace, but the meaning we attach to it. Someone ignores you. You think, "They don't respect me." Someone succeeds before you. You think, "I'm falling behind." Someone rejects you. You think, "I'm not good enough." Notice what happened. A simple event occurred. Then your mind created a story, and suddenly you are suffering inside a reality that may not even exist. This is one of the most dangerous things about an undisciplined mind. It can turn imagination into pain. You can be sitting alone in a quiet room while fighting battles that exist entirely inside your head. You replay conversations. You predict disasters. You imagine what people think about you. You punish yourself for mistakes that happened years ago. And the world doesn't have to hurt you. Your own mind does it for them. But this can be changed. The first step is learning to pause. Before reacting, ask, "What actually happened? And what am I adding to it?" That single question creates distance between you and your emotions. And within that distance, you discover something powerful. You are not every thought that enters your mind. You are the person who decides which thoughts deserve to stay. Master that ability, and you begin taking back something you may have unknowingly given away for years. Your inner freedom. Part 2. Stop giving your emotions to other people. There is a painful truth most people don't want to admit. Sometimes, other people control you simply because you react to everything they do. They don't need to threaten you. They don't need authority over you. All they need to do is push the right emotional button. A certain person ignores you, and suddenly you feel worthless. Someone criticizes you, and you become defensive. Someone praises you, and your confidence rises. Someone becomes distant, and you desperately try to win them back. Without realizing it, you have given another human being a remote control to your emotional life. They press a button, you react. They pull away, you chase. They insult you, you explode. They praise you, you become attached. And the frightening part is that they may not even realize how much power you have given them. This is why Stoicism is not about becoming emotionless. It is about becoming emotionally sovereign. You still feel anger, you still feel sadness, you still feel disappointment, you still care deeply. But you stop allowing every emotion to become an instruction. Because feeling something does not mean you have to act on it. You can feel anger and choose silence. You can feel fear and still move forward. You can feel rejection and refuse to beg. You can feel jealousy and choose to improve yourself instead of attacking someone else. That small space between feeling and reacting is where your power lives. Think about the last time someone provoked you. Maybe you immediately sent a message you later regretted. Maybe you said something cruel because you wanted them to hurt as much as you did. Maybe you spent hours trying to prove that you were right. And afterward, when the emotion disappeared, you realized something. The situation wasn't as powerful as your reaction to it. This is why Marcus Aurelius repeatedly practiced observing his own mind. Before allowing anger to become action, he created distance. Before allowing fear to become avoidance, he examined it. Before allowing praise to inflate his ego, he remembered how temporary human approval was. You can practice the same thing. When something triggers you, don't respond immediately. Take a breath. Step away. Ask yourself, if I respond from anger, will I respect this decision tomorrow? That question can save you from countless mistakes, because strength is not the ability to make people afraid of you. Real strength is being able to remain calm when someone is desperately trying to make you lose control. The person who controls your reaction controls the interaction, but the person who controls their mind cannot easily be controlled by anyone else. Before we continue, I want to ask you something simple. What is harder for you to control, your thoughts or your emotions? Take a moment and answer honestly in the comments. You can simply write thoughts or emotions, and if you'd like, share why. Your answer may help someone else realize that they are not alone in this struggle. Let's learn from each other and see how different people experience the same battle. And if this video is giving you a new perspective on your own mind, please consider subscribing to the channel. Your support helps us continue creating deeper content about Stoicism, self-mastery, discipline, emotional strength, and the battles we silently fight every day. Now, let's continue. Because mastering your mind is not about controlling one emotional reaction. It is about changing the way you see the world itself. Part 3. The art of creating distance from your thoughts. One of the most dangerous things about the human mind is that it can make a thought feel like a fact. You think someone dislikes you, and suddenly you believe it. You imagine that you will fail, and your body reacts as if failure has already happened. You remember something painful from the past, and for a moment, you are emotionally living through it again. But here is the truth. A thought is not a command, and a thought is not necessarily reality. Your mind produces thousands of thoughts every day. Some are wise, some are fearful, some are memories, some are assumptions, some are completely wrong. Yet most people never question them. They simply believe whatever appears inside their head. This is where suffering begins. Imagine waking up and thinking, "Nobody respects me." Instead of questioning the thought, you spend the entire day looking for evidence. Someone doesn't reply to your message. You think, "See? They don't care." Someone walks past you without saying hello. They must dislike me. Someone gives you criticism. Everyone thinks I'm a failure. Your mind creates a story. Then your attention searches for proof. And before you know it, you are living inside a prison built entirely from assumptions. The Stoics understood the importance of examining impressions before accepting them as truth. This is a skill you can practice every day. When a painful thought appears, don't immediately say, "This is true." Instead, say, "I'm having the thought that this is true." That tiny change creates distance, and distance creates freedom. You begin observing your mind instead of becoming your mind. You might notice, "I'm afraid they will leave me." Then ask, "Do I know this, or am I predicting it?" You think, "I'm not good enough." Ask, "What evidence actually proves that?" You think, "My life is falling apart." Ask, "Is everything falling apart, or am I overwhelmed by one difficult moment?" These questions don't magically remove pain. They do something more important. They prevent pain from becoming your identity. Because when you learn to observe your thoughts, you stop being dragged around by every emotional storm that passes through your mind. You become the observer, and slowly, you discover that thoughts can rise without controlling you. Fear can appear without deciding your future. Anger can appear without deciding your behavior. Doubt can appear without deciding your worth. This is mental discipline. Not forcing yourself to think positively, not pretending that everything is fine, but learning to look at reality without allowing your mind to distort it. And once you develop that ability, something remarkable happens. People can still disappoint you. Life can still hurt you. Unexpected problems can still appear, but they no longer have unlimited access to your inner world, because you have learned the difference between what happens and what your mind says about what happens. That difference may seem small, but mastering it can change your entire life. Part 4. Discipline yourself before life forces you to. There is a lesson life eventually teaches everyone. If you don't learn to control yourself, something else will control you. Your impulses will control you. Your fears will control you. Your desires will control you. Other people's opinions will control you. And eventually, you may wake up one day and realize that you have spent years reacting to life instead of consciously living it. You told yourself you would change tomorrow. You would wake up earlier tomorrow. You would stop wasting time tomorrow. You would become disciplined tomorrow. But tomorrow kept moving, and slowly, your potential became something you talked about instead of something you lived. This is why the Stoics placed such enormous value on discipline, not because discipline makes life miserable, because discipline gives you freedom. Think about it. If you cannot control your desire to check your phone controls you. If you cannot control your anger, other people control you. If you cannot control your spending, money controls you. If you cannot control your appetite, your impulses control you. If you cannot control your need for approval, strangers control your confidence. Freedom is not simply having unlimited choices. Sometimes, freedom is having the strength to say no. No to the temptation. No to the unnecessary argument. No to the person who repeatedly disrespects you. No to the habit that is slowly destroying your future. No to the easier path when you know the harder path is the right one. And this doesn't begin with huge transformations. It begins with small promises. Tell yourself you will wake up at a certain time, and then do it. Tell yourself you will exercise for 20 minutes, and keep the promise. Tell yourself you will spend 1 hour learning instead of scrolling, and protect that hour. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, something inside you changes. You begin trusting yourself. And self-trust is one of the strongest forms of confidence. Because confidence is not always believing that you will succeed. Sometimes confidence is simply knowing, whatever happens, I will not abandon myself. That is what discipline builds. It creates a person who can be uncomfortable without immediately escaping. A person who can wait. A person who can say no. A person who can remain calm. A person who can continue even when motivation disappears. And eventually, other people notice something different about you. You don't react as quickly. You don't need constant stimulation. You don't chase every opportunity. You don't follow every emotion. You become more deliberate, more patient, more difficult to manipulate, because you are no longer controlled by every impulse that enters your mind. Remember, a person who cannot command themselves will always be vulnerable to someone who knows how to command their desires. So train yourself now. Not because life is always cruel, but because life will eventually test you. And when that day comes, you don't want to discover your strength for the first time. You want to discover that it has been there all along, quietly built, one decision at a time. Part 5. Become someone the world cannot easily control. There is a moment in life when you realize that true strength was never about controlling other people. It was about becoming someone who could no longer be easily controlled. Think about the things that once had power over you. A person's silence, a harsh comment, the fear of being rejected, the desire to be admired, the need to always be right, the temptation to react, the fear of losing someone. Maybe these things still affect you, and that's okay. Mastering your mind doesn't mean becoming emotionless. It means becoming conscious. You notice the emotion before you obey it. You notice the thought before you believe it. You notice the temptation before you surrender to it. And in that small moment of awareness, you regain your freedom. This is the final lesson of Stoicism. You may not control what happens to you, but you can train yourself to control what happens within you. Someone can disrespect you. You can choose dignity. Someone can reject you. You can choose acceptance. Someone can provoke you. You can choose silence. Someone can underestimate you. You can choose to keep building. Life can take something from you. You can choose not to let it take your character with it. That is strength. Not pretending that nothing hurts. Not becoming cold. Not becoming arrogant. But becoming so rooted in yourself that external chaos cannot easily pull you apart. Marcus Aurelius lived through war, political conflict, betrayal, illness, loss, and uncertainty. Yet he repeatedly returned to the same battlefield, his own mind. And perhaps that is the battlefield you need to return to as well. Not every day will be peaceful. Some days you will lose your patience. Some days fear will win. Some days you will react emotionally and regret it. But don't use failure as an excuse to stop training. The goal isn't perfection. The goal is awareness. Each time you catch yourself before reacting, you become stronger. Each time you question a destructive thought, you become stronger. Each time you choose discipline over impulse, you become stronger. Each time you walk away from unnecessary conflict, you become stronger. And eventually, something changes. You stop needing the world to become peaceful before you can feel peace. You stop needing everyone to treat you perfectly before you can remain calm. You stop needing life to go according to plan before you can be grateful. You realize that your greatest possession was never money, status, popularity, or power. It was always the ability to govern yourself. And once you master that, people may still try to manipulate you. Life may still test you. The world may still become chaotic, but they will no longer have unlimited access to your mind. Because you have built something stronger than circumstances. You have built inner authority. So remember this: the person who controls your mind controls your life. But when you learn to govern your thoughts, discipline your emotions, and choose your actions consciously, no one else can truly become your master. That is the freedom Stoicism promises. Not freedom from the world, but freedom from becoming a prisoner of it. Conclusion. The deepest lesson is simple. If you cannot control your mind, something else will control you. People will disappoint you. Circumstances will change. Criticism will come. Rejection will hurt. But you still have a choice. Will you react or will you respond? Start practicing today. When something upsets you, pause before reacting. When a negative thought appears, question it instead of immediately believing it. When temptation comes, practice saying no. And every night, ask yourself, did I control my actions today, or did my emotions control me? You don't need to become emotionless. You need to become disciplined enough to feel deeply without being ruled by what you feel. Master your thoughts. Govern your emotions. Keep your promises to yourself. Because when you become the master of your own mind, The world may still challenge you, but it can no longer easily control you. If this video helped you, subscribe to the channel. Your support gives us the motivation to keep creating deeper and more meaningful content for you. Stay strong, stay disciplined, and keep mastering yourself. Thank you for taking the time to watch until the end of the video. See you in the next videos.